Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets, and what a week to do it. Once again, guys, I hope you all had a phenomenal weekend, not just the panel, but of course the audience as well. I always tell you guys on Friday to try and stay away from the charts, hopefully relax a little bit. I mean, I want to say that price basically opened the week and around the same place that we went into the weekend at, maybe a little bit higher. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, hopefully you guys were staying moisturized over the weekend after the just roller coaster of a week that we had last week. And as we're already kind of seeing on Monday, it seems as though this week will be no exception. I think the volatility in the market has been very much exacerbated by a lack of liquidity, and we're just seeing these wild lower time frame price swings, right? Like even just this morning and really around the weekly open, you had a little dump on, at least on crypto, that is, you had a little dump. It pumped into New York Open. It dumped again on New York Open, and then we fully retraced the dump. So yeah, quite a bit of lower time frame volatility. I can only coin it as total perp trader death, because that's really what it feels like at this point. If you are trading leverage, if you are trading the perpies, Godspeed to you. That's all I can say. But I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Tucker and Jackus. We might be getting Max on later as well, but he is taking care of some business, a video for you guys. But yeah, like I said, I hope you all had a great weekend. Before we can start cooking and before we can start talking about this beautiful green morning, I'm going to need you guys to like, smash, or hammer that like button. Let's get this week started off right. Like I said, I can't imagine that this week is going to be, I'm hopeful it won't be quite as volatile as last week, right? But I have a feeling that it is probably not going to be too far off as a whole. But we always appreciate when you guys can slam that like button for us. Let's have a great day, a fantastic start to the week. And yeah, we can get into some more detailed analysis, looking at some of these charts to open the week. Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum pumping especially hard today to start the week. ETH is leading Bitcoin. I want to talk about the relationship between Solana and ETH later on this stream for sure. We actually had some pretty interesting takes on that, I think, in our morning call for our subscribers. So they already know what we're probably about to talk about, but I do think that the relationship between Solana and ETH specifically is at a pretty interesting spot here, an inflection point, if you will. So I don't think you necessarily have to get the Bitcoin Ethereum rotation time correctly, but Sol ETH, it does look as though Sol is about to come down against ETH and ETH about to move up against Solana. And there are a myriad of reasons for that, of course, that I'm sure we will talk about. You're also getting some action in some other altcoin markets. I don't know how to feel about the fact that Sui and Say are both very green today. I guess time will tell. To that degree, we do have quite a few VC scams that are green on the day. In addition to, I think, some meme coins that might have kind of front run the move that we're seeing in VC scams at the moment. So yeah, Cole already knows. Unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about Sui today, but or fortunately, depending on your perspective. Of course, equity markets are going to be increasingly important as well. And once I finish this will be the end of my little intro yap. But I do think because we are still trading with such a lack of liquidity, it makes sense we're probably going to be trading more hand in hand with what equity markets are doing. So we will see, obviously, what the S&P, what the NASDAQ do this week. It's probably going to give you a pretty good indication as far as what Bitcoin and ETH are going to do. And I think we also have, on top of that, Donald Trump and Elon Musk doing some sort of interview tonight. Maybe there's a positive catalyst for crypto baked into there. Maybe for Doge. I guess that's something that we can talk about as well. But yeah, let's start talking, boys. Let's see what we're thinking about the market. Let's set the stage for the week. And if you guys have tickers, within reason that you want us to look at, drop them in the comments and we will try to get to them, right? We're not going to just look at your soul shitter, but we will look at, some of
Tommy,
these.
did you see this? Did you see this? Look at that.
Wow, I did not. Thank you,
Mhm.
Crypto Maxi. Crypto Maxi's the GOAT, man. He's dropping these super chats on a daily basis. We appreciate you, Crypto Maxi, so much. But that's enough yap from me. I'd love to hear from you guys.
Well, I hadn't looked at this chart in a while, but like this is just US net liquidity, right? We're at the same level right now that we were at in 2022, in April of 2022, right? Like this thing has gone sideways for 2 years, right? Like that's pretty wild. And during the same time period, you've had crypto and equities go pretty much straight up, right? They went
Do you
down,
remember?
obviously, but
Do you remember how everyone told us that we are basically just trading the liquidity of this chart, and if this chart is going to go up, the markets are, and if this is not going to go up, the markets will not go up?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Wrong. Completely wrong. You had liquidity go sideways and Bitcoin go up what? 5x? Yeah, no, 4x. Whatever. A lot, right? So my question is what happens when you do cuz this is not like a zoom out here a little bit. Like this is not a chart that you bet on going lower, right? Like what happens when this does eventually curl back up, That's got to be the question asked.
I wouldn't say that like liquidity, like the world liquidity definitely does matter a lot, but people in that equation forget supply and demand.
Yes. Hang on, I'm going to put a chart up here from cross border because it needs to be studied.
Like the same way people forget when they did the that model, right, that goes with the halvings. How's it called? Stock to flow. So when people did stock to flow, they were like, all right, every 4 year the supply gets cut in half, right? That means that like we will keep having 4-year cycle forever, and this will mean that the price of BTC on this day is going to be it. Like, bro, have you not studied economics? like I agree that decreasing supply does matter, but you still need demand for the asset. And if the demand is hugely going to exceed the supply regardless, then it's going to go up regardless. And if there is no demand, then it doesn't matter if you have the world's scarcest asset if nobody wants it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, just look at this chart. Like, so he was speculating that, and obviously credit to him, this is not my chart, but he was speculating that some sort of deal was potentially struck, just like in 1985 Plaza Accord. The orange, I know this is like blurry, but the orange line is global liquidity. Honestly, ignore the red line and just look at orange and black, right? Like this thing bottomed and you had another pretty much like 18 months until it topped, right? So, I mean, I would expect this to trend up until 2027 probably. Something like that. So, I mean, if we're going to have a new president, they're probably going to want to print money, right? We're going to have global liquidity go up for the next 2 years. You've got Morgan Stanley and all those guys able to actually advise that people buy these ETFs, which is a huge development because I was just talking to one of my buddies the other day and he's like, yeah, I can't tell anyone to buy this thing. Like if I do it, it has to be like unsolicited. So fundamentally, the catalysts are all there for hire, right? Now that does not mean in the short term, that price has to go up, though, clearly. But fundamentally, I think you could argue things have never looked better, right? But obviously, this chart has been a complete nightmare, regardless of what fundamental catalysts have come through. You know, like you've had a 30% range over almost 6 months, which is unreal, literally unreal. Obviously, you guys know my bias is higher. My bias is that we're probably doing something like this potentially. But you've got some work to do. You got to get back above like 61K. So obviously we had a little New York Open manipulation, you could say. This is what it looks like when TradFi enters the books right here.
They do this every day, though.
Yeah,
I do kind of like say this alpha too. It's like if you trade lower time frame, you already know the manipulation that you see around New York Open. But like almost every single day, you will have a false move, like a kind of a big false move on a lower time frame. Either right before or right like 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after New York Open. And usually it's a fade because they'll almost retrace the move in its entirety almost always.
Yeah, that was the New York Open, and that was the 30 minutes right after the Open, right? And then they just said nope. I mean, I wouldn't even be shocked if they did this. Like that's just classic equity market price action, honestly.
Yeah, they're going to keep chopping perp. This is total perp trader death, man. Like everybody trying to catch the make it all back and trade long, and everybody who is a bear is frustrated, probably trying to catch these make it all back in one trade shorts because they missed the dump and tried to get short on the bounce and got wrecked. But I mean, perps are just getting destroyed by equity volatility and also a lack of liquidity in markets, which is a big contributor.
Yeah. Now, what are your thoughts on ETH here, guys? What are your thoughts on ETH?
Because I need you to pull up the ETH CME chart.
I see. ETH1.
And I have a question. What do we do with the CME gaps?
We fill them, Jackus. We fill them. 3K.
Fill them.
Imminent.
3K.
Yeah. It almost feels free, dude. It almost feels like a free, like 12% move on ETH, which I know it's not, but I mean, what are they going to not fill a gap that's 10% higher? Like, they're going to fill it. You got no gaps underneath, right? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I know some TradFi guys looking at this and thinking this is juicy right here. So
it is.
Tucker, did I ever tell you about my TradFi friend? He works at one of the bigger banks in Manhattan, but he doesn't hold any Bitcoin. And he recognizes the risks of fiat currency, but he is just like all in gold. He's our age, right? He has like a shit ton of gold. I'm like, you're such a boomer, man. Why aren't you holding more Bitcoin? But I think TradFi just still views it very much as a risk asset for now. And that's probably why there's such a strong like distinction to hold gold over Bitcoin. But I couldn't wrap my brain around it, man. I tried to Bitcoin pill him. We'll see if it actually works, though. I'm pretty skeptical that he'll buy in.
Dang, dude. What do you make of gold right here? No, that one. There we go. Like, is this
some people are still trying to short it?
Like,
I can tell you that.
Yeah, that looks pretty good, man.
It does tell you though that like, and I will keep on saying this, BTC going into a huge bull market, and I think this is just beginning. Although like we could totally, drop something still, not that much, but gold going into a huge decade-long bull market is telling you something about the risk that is within the markets in the world right now.
Yeah.
But, and this is going to be super tough for this decade, is going to be playing these things well, timing wise. That's going to be super tough, even for experienced traders. The easy decade of 0% interest rates, up only, do nothing, just hodl, is gone. This is a new decade. And I think that, you got basically that narrative of, guys, just don't do anything, just hodl, possibly hold stocks, don't do anything, right? That was like, you did not hear about this after the financial crisis in 08. You hear about this now, 15 years later, basically, that this is the best thing to do. They are teaching, and they will show you the results of the past 15 years. And every normie that looks at it will be like, yeah, why should I try to like trade stuff? I will just buy and hold. And whenever that's the sentiment, especially what is coming, this will get people right. I think this decade will be the decade of actively managed portfolios. It will be hard to play it time-wise. And by the end of the decade, everyone will tell you how actively managed funds have beaten the passive ones and how you should invest in those. And then it's going to be vice versa again. So like, I love markets.
Yeah.
Now
I think
now keep going, Tucker.
I was gonna say, I think like I think the whole buy and hold like makes sense for a crypto type cycle, right? Where it's like, okay, like you can probably buy now and hold for like 9 months, and then it's probably time to get out when you see some action like that, right? But like to say buy and hold for the next like what 6 years, that's not it, that's not right, I don't think.
Well, that's how people are now positioned to feel and invest, basically.
Yeah.
Whether that's
Well,
Bitcoin or whether that's stocks, people are positioned to hodl, don't do anything. And I think this will backfire seriously, especially in like, I think in the next 2 years, this will backfire significantly.
I mean, you think we're gonna do some 70s action, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I do not see a
last,
reason why we
last
shouldn't.
40 years, the last 40 years of market performance are completely unprecedented on a historical basis. Like for markets to just go straight up in a straight line so that holders are rewarded for 40 years straight. And it doesn't always make sense to fight the trend, right? But it does when you feel like that trend is beginning to get really extended, maybe start to probe for inflection points. And I do think that we're probably getting to that point where you're reaching an inflection point, literally, not just in the markets, but also in real life, between how much more money can they print before shit starts to really hit the fan, or, we start to maybe question, the US dollar's efficacy as the global reserve currency. And I understand that's a long-term shift. That's not going to happen over a year or two. But, I think from the standpoint of what probably the populace is paying attention to, I think it's going to start to matter more and more, especially if we continue to devalue our like fiat currency at the end of the day.
I mean, we're about to find out how much money they can print before shit hits the fan. That's for sure. We are about
I think the dollar
to
looks terrible.
find out. Yeah.
And I mean, the global powers are challenging stuff right now. They know that nations are weak. The West got very weak in the recent years, and they'll be trying to create a new establishment. And there is there is a war currently happening in that regard. It doesn't, like, people often think of a war of like, tanks going on the battlefield, but many times it can be a battle, of semiconductors, of sources. China's buying freaking ports around the world and mines, whether that's lithium, whether that's other stuff. And So this war is being waged along multiple fields right now, and this will just further add to the decade of uncertainty. And if you're gonna, what I found interesting, if you can go back to like the 70s on SPX Tucker, and I understand that this can be hard for lots of market participants who kind of want to just turn their brain off and hold, but it is where like the markets are for this next period. Basically, they are in that period of you will have to think, or you're gonna end up like if you bought at 1966, right, and then you held on until like 1980 or like 82 or something, you are basically at the same price. And this, by the way, does not include like inflation adjusted. So if you were just passively holding, after 15 years, you were at the same price as when you bought. That's a long time. That's a generation. But in this time period, right, Charlie Munger, which is dead now, is a buddy of Warren Buffett. He outperformed the market. So while in those 15 years, the market basically like made 0% gain, he outperformed the market by like thousands of percent. And in those years, and I always try to think of it because like there are always market upsides and downsides along this sideways period, as you can see. Just like there is now, right? Like there was an opportunity to be long in 2023 until now. And that's an opportunity. And then there's an opportunity to sell and then rebuy again lower. And I think even Warren Buffett, sitting on the largest pile of cash and US T-bills right now, is telling a story too. And he's not like looking for like one more thing. He's playing the larger game too. And what I always try to think of it is like you wanna be in those types of positioning as those guys were back then, because these guys, they experience those times, right? They know how to prepare for them. And also what's interesting, by the way, is that even Charlie Munger, which was like thousands of percent in positive numbers during those years, during that sideways period, he still had a year when he was like minus 10%, 15%, right? But then he had a year where he was like plus 50%. So that I always try to think of is that maybe not every year is going to be like phenomenal, but on the overall, he outperformed the market plus thousands of percent.
Mm-hmm. This is a little worrisome, I'm not gonna lie. Just a little bit. I'm sure you've looked at this, Jackus.
I have.
Yeah. I think we're good though. I think we're chilling.
You guys looking for more bear posts?
Yeah.
Hey,
There he is. Oh man.
I've been sick since Friday, man.
How you doing, brother?
I'm here.
He's here. Will,
That's what matters.
I need you to refute this because I'm not even like bearish, but like I just, Jackus was talking about the 70s, so I pulled it up, so.
What do we say about anything before 86?
Before 86, what? It doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter. Or sorry, maybe on 87. Why? Because they added stock halts. That's why. It's not you can't get any performance that was similar to 87 or before because of stock halts.
The structure too just looks so different. Like right, like when you overlay PA from that period onto current PA, you really realize how like manipulated the current volatility regime is.
Yeah, but dude, you don't think this looks super similar though? Like,
no, I do think
the minute they added stock halts,
it looks crazy similar.
It's not a market that's controlled by the market anymore. It's a market that's controlled by the stock market whenever they want to stop and go. And the percentage is really small in the drop. Like they will shut shit down if it even drops like a couple percent. They'll be like, stopping trading for today. Do it again tomorrow. Stop and trading for the day. Like they won't let it drop like that.
That red box too that you had drawn, Tucker.
Yes, dude. This.
But they had it. It's kind of interesting that like both of those run up structures within that 10 or 15 year period kind of had a consolidation like that before the last leg. Like you can see it on the next one too.
Like your COVID was super obvious, right? Like first top, first bottom.
Is that 1960 something? What was COVID?
62. What was that? Vietnam War, maybe?
What happened?
Vietnam War, bro.
I was right. It was 87 when they had a stock halts.
Yeah, it was.
So
this is 62. This had to be Vietnam, right?
Did we have a pandemic?
I don't know.
I'm kidding. Let me check.
So I would say this, like there are a lot of structures that can look similar to prior, but the problem is the way the market is structured now. I think stock halts was a massive change to stock markets as a whole. And so I think like if you can compare it to anything after 87 and get something of a similar result, you're good. I think if you try to go before then, it's kind of like throwing darts. And I think that's. I think if you've never thrown darts before, it'll be hard to hit the target.
What are you looking for, Tucker?
They're nuking us.
Dude, they're just swigging. They're nuking all the perp traders accounts, man, is what they're doing.
I know.
This is where if you have access to options, like options are a way better derivative to trade, in my opinion, right now in crypto than
what did I literally say like 5 minutes ago? We do this. Like that was literally the beginning of the stream. That's unreal.
We are absolutely ripping through those highs, Tucker.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I don't think for a second we're not going to go through the highs. I kind of agree with you though, Tucker. I think we'll probably have a dip before the rip. You have to create the wick before the candle at the end of the day. Even if you're going to go up, you're going to come down first. And if you're going to go down, you're going to go up first.
This is so ugly. Yeah.
The market always entices you to the wrong direction before the actual move. I think that I was looking at this last night. I have a pretty good setup. I don't know what was up with this. Hold on, sure. I have a pretty good setup for this. I talked about this the other week. If we got a minute to look at it.
But we do.
Sorry, I feel horrible today, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
You're good.
And it was, I would say, this right here, right? And then this, and then this, 1, 2. This, and then obviously this, and this, and that. Some of you may be like, "Oh, we're gonna get that." That I think already happened. And then if you come over here, we'll get rid of this so it's a little cleaner. And then you've got this, and this. Do you guys see the structure similarities there? Regardless of how far down we dip, you don't play the high this long or the low this long unless your intention is to go up. So you got your flat, up, flat, up, flat, up, and you just keep leveling up, right? Flat pretty much on both sides here. And this, I think, kind of occurred right here. Now, granted, they could swing a little bit lower, but this right here already occurred, and then you get your upswing. A lot of people are again, forest, trees, yada, yada, yada. A bunch of trees equals a forest. They're not looking at the bigger picture here. They're just looking at, oh, can I catch this little bitty swing? Can I catch this little bitty swing? Can I catch this little bitty swing? They're not looking at, what comes next when you're at these highs. Here's at the highs. Here's at the highs. Look how long we sat here. Almost as very similar months. Sat here almost very similar months. Sat here much longer, almost a year, right? And then,
but Will, I was told I could get rich just doing nothing but hitting $200 Euro scalps.
I mean, hey.
That's how Jackus made his millions, bro. What are you talking about?
Whatever you're good at, I'll tell you that. Whatever you're good at, there's penny stocks too for those who are good at it. I can tell you that everybody can get rich. It's just how fast will you get rich, right? Everybody wants rich tomorrow. They're not able to zoom out and look at the bigger structure of what's actually going on. You don't play these highs this long. Like anybody who's refuting that this is just a sideways play before the upswing is delirious.
Will, talk to me about the oscillators, though.
These ones right here.
Yeah, all of them.
I mean, as far as your stochastics, I would say look at this right here. Look at this swing right here. Look at what we're doing right here.
When was that on the chart?
What date is that?
I don't know.
March of 2020. What happened in 2020?
Wow. Are you serious? That was 2020?
That was 2020. So if we come over and we look at March of 2020, where are we at? We're right there, right? We're right here.
What about just straight up RSI?
RSI, same thing. RSI, we can go back here again. We could say, where's March of 2020? Where is it at? 2019. Right here's March of 2020.
See, on RSI, I think it looks more like go to 2017's RSI.
2017?
Yeah, where's...
right here?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be ideally here. The point is, like, you should be looking for, like, key positions on this, on the strength indicator. Key positions would be, like, here, 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 here.
Wait, hold up. Where was 2019? Was that like that little spike there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if anything, we overshot 2019
right here.
A little bit. Yeah.
That's your 2019 right there. That's what that is. This is your 2019 here. This is your 2019 there. And then
we're somewhere in 2020 right now. Personally.
Yeah, we are very much in 2020.
Well, if you're in 2020, we just had COVID, so
yeah, COVID just happened.
It's time to turn on.
I don't know if I necessarily fully subscribe to that, but I also don't think that we have to have a COVID level event either.
No, we definitely don't. Yeah,
I don't either. The one thing that you'll notice is the market likes to stay extended once it starts to get up into here, right? You stay extended, and yeah, we did overshoot the cycle because if you look right here, same spot, we were here, right? Now we're here. The market got a little ahead of itself, and because it got a little ahead of itself, guess what? Market makers, bigger players are going to take away from the market for now, and then they'll put back when they think all of you are scared to death that we're going to go back into a bear market, and they'll push prices higher. So I think that if people just think of this from a logical level, there's no top, no, absolutely zero tops that look like this, that extend this many months. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll call them 3. I call them 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Show me a top that looks like this right here, and I'll call you a liar because there ain't one. And I think that if people are like, well, this time's different, then if your mindset's always going to be this time's different, if that's all it's ever going to be, don't even play markets. You're basically gambling. Like, you have to go off the data. If you're not going off the data, then you're gambling. That's all you're doing. You're not here making money. I'm here to look at the data, which is structure, right? And I'm here to evaluate the structure of the data. And if I can see a pattern, I stick with it, and I stick with the pattern until it's broken. And then once it's broken, I come back to the drawing board, and I'm like, all right, pattern is broken. Now, how do I approach this? What's a better way to approach this moving forward? And where should I look for a broken pattern again? Or is the structure completely changing, right? Yeah, and it's very much like what the Fed says, and I think not enough people take that into consideration. And what the Fed says specifically is he says we need multiple months of data. Well, I can tell you with a stock, with an asset class, you need multiple years of data. That's why new asset classes get hyped, but you never know which one's going to hit. You're gambling, right? You need data on the asset class to be able to get a good asset class that you know you should be buying into. You could buy into one
my
early by
investments
luck.
are with good companies. They will come back.
Wait, so
I mean-
so you're saying, Will, that you are data dependent?
Data dependent, very much. Yes, data dependent. And I think that if people took that approach more and just stopped with the it's up, it's down bullshit, they would have better odds in these markets. But yeah, that again, this is my thoughts, man. Like I very much think we're just playing one of these sideways trends before, and you can see these sideways trends play up. Now, some people argue, well, there's sideways trends to the downside. Yeah, there is sideways trends to the downside. I mean, look right here. But what did you get before the sideways trend to the downside? You got 2 months up. We didn't get a spike that caused the initial drawdown into a range, and then the sideways, and then the next drawdown, right? That's what we call a bear market. You need a spike to get buyers, and then you exit on the buyers. We never got a spike. So because we haven't gotten that spike in the market, as you can see right here, there's no top yet. You need a spike first. Especially in crypto. Why crypto? Because it's a very volatile asset class. Everybody's speculating here.
Yeah, that's the tough part about crypto, is that it's markets typically reward people, at least over the last 3 or 4 decades, with a higher time frame line of thinking, right? Like the longer you spend in the market, the more likely you are to eventually win. And crypto's just kind of I won't call it an exception to the rule, right? Because Bitcoin, ETH, and a lot of other crypto assets do tend to appreciate over a period of time. It's just much more volatile. You can hold something, and there's no guarantee that a year from now it'll still be around. I think back to even as recently as last summer in 2023. Think about the GambleFi bags that everybody said, oh yeah, if you hold these into the bull run, you're definitely going to be rich. You look at those coins now, and I think you'd be net down, like that's in USD terms, not even against the market, if you had just held on to those assets through 2024. So it's a market that is always constantly changing. And I think crypto is a very unique asset class in that regard, because like I said, markets do tend to reward people with longer time horizons, but you better be in crypto. You have to be a little bit more selective as far as what you pick and what you believe in.
Yeah. And I think with memes, you should take them as exit liquidity events and just be on the right side of the exit, basically, right? That's why we play them, because we're always trying to be on the right side of the exit. What does that mean? That means as soon as you see the pumps and everybody's like, we're going to billions and billions, and they keep adding more billions on every day, it's like, okay, well, you guys go ahead. I'm going to move to the next one that's going to go to billions and billions and billions once everybody starts talking about it. And I'll just keep flipping my money. And then once that occurs, you can start building capital. But not everybody has the skill set to do that, and I understand that. And so in a lot of people's case, if you don't have the skill set to be able to trade assets like that, which is hard, don't get me wrong, it's definitely hard, then your better bet's just to kind of hold these volatile times on assets that you believe have the potential to go up, and they have the data to support it. I mean, it's boring, but go with the data. The data is going to be your best friend when it comes to these markets.
Data dependent. We all come full circle back to Boomerland and Powell.
Yeah. I talked to people last night, and I was like, look, the market's gonna get harder from here. I'm like, if you want to make money right now, I was like, you're probably better going towards things like basically fundamentals, right? And I'm not talking about the VC scams where people made some random bullshit and said this is going to help the crypto market. I'm talking about like your L1s, your things that will attract people and will have people in the ecosystem once retail actually steps in. Retail hasn't come to this market yet. They're not interested in crypto still. And when they do come, that's where you'll get your spike. When you get your spike, then you're like, okay, we got our spike. Don't be stupid. Take our money. Let this thing cool down, aka bear market, and then re-enter when you can get a better pricing. And here's the thing. Some people sold, and then I'll let you go ahead and jump in there. Some people sold here last cycle, right? And they never re-entered. They sold here, the bottom of this move. Price went up, It came back down. Did they get a better price? Yes. You just have to be patient for it. That's all it is.
I want to talk about some of these VC scams, actually, because we do have a few of them pumping. I'm not sure what to make of it. Part of me thinks it's probably them meme coins kind of bounce first off the low. You're likely seeing some VC scams catch up, but there are kind of a handful of as we endearingly call them, VC scams that are showing quite a bit of upside right now, right? Like a Sui, a Say, for example, is another one.
I looked at that last night. I was like, dude, well, it is. Look, it's a perfect example of an L1, right? Caterpillar. By the way, I think study Caterpillar, right? Study trends. I thought this thing was going to break down. They just kept it running. So we'll see. I think they'll come back to trend on that. But Sui, man, look at this thing. Like monster move. But look, capped. And when I talked about this last night,
people are going to be very upset that you're saying that, Will.
Again, the study ranges, right? Study ranges. But what I do think here is I think that you'll probably get this and then this, right? And I have exposure to the Sui ecosystem only because I think they're going to run it up the cycle. I don't think for a second that's not going to happen. But you do have the higher low structure formed, right? And right now, I think here's the thing, you could even play back into this range, and that'll really upset some people if you come back into here. But that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Like you have a strong bid right in here. Why? Because look at all this accumulation right here, right? So let me get rid of this, and I'll get rid of this, and we'll just look at kind of what I'm talking about here. But you can see here, I had a couple different scenarios drawn out. I think, honestly, Sui will go up regardless of whether it's a VC scam or not. But you have all this accumulation right here. You broke into the range, grabbed all the liquidity here, and then you broke back above this range right here specifically. And I think since you've done that, you've created kind of a barrier now for your low to be set here and your high to be set up here. And your high is set up here primarily because this is where you got stuffed here. This is where all your liquidity is accumulated before this spike. And then you came back down, and now you're just retesting that spike. Now, if Sui can't get back above here, if it gets back above here, it's going to be very bullish, right? If it remains below this range right here, you're easily calling this a stuff. And then this thing could probably do this, right? And play back down to the low range. So you have to be kind of cautious here because this is the possibility for Sui. This is the possibility. I would say, like, if you got below your 77 cents range, I would probably cut positions and look for lower. But if you stay above that range and you can break above your $1.40, $1.45 range, I would just slap a fib on it, go for the 1618 and call it a day. That's basically it right there. So that'd be right up there.
I agree. It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like I can't bet on Sui because I've been burned trying to like hold it before. And also it is, a VC scam. And somebody's asking, what do we mean when we say that? Right. And we say it endearingly mostly, but I mean, really, these are assets, guys, that they're marketed as fundamentally sound projects that they really don't do anything, which you can say about a lot of assets, but these are like high FDV relative to circulating market cap and supply. So they're more likely going to dump on you under the guise or the facade of, hey, this is a pump based on fundamentals, or hey, there's a bunch of people bridging to Sui. Come take part in the ecosystem, come buy the token. And in reality, a lot of times, at least what we've seen as the dynamic since the spring is they're just looking to dump on you. And even we saw the same dynamic in 2021. Who am I kidding? But that's a big reason why the meme coin super cycle has been so popular. And I think, like, not just as a thesis, but also just the sector in general. People love to bid memes because they feel like they have a better chance of winning. It's not based on insider deal flow where VCs get to, I mean, because look at something like Celestia, the seed round price was literally 1 cent. The token's down almost 90% or like 85% from the highs, and seed investors are still up thousands and thousands of X's, but they're going to sell you the dream of modularity, even if there's not actually a working product yet. And that's what we mean when we say VC scam. It doesn't mean they can't pump. It just means you need to be aware of the fact that you can get dumped on, even if you have a, quote unquote, fundamentally sound asset that you're holding.
Yeah, but I would also say, Tommy, I don't think there's any interest in modularity. Everybody keeps talking about it, but like I don't see anybody bidding modularity. Like nobody. Not even the devs are bidding modularity. They're not building on it.
Wait, who is talking about modularity?
Sui's a modularity coin, right, I guess? Or it's a move coin, whatever the hell that means.
So Sui is similar to Solana.
Sui to me is Cristiano Ronaldo derivative.
But I do think Sui being a meta coin, aka a coin that came from the meta team, I am more bullish on that than I am most other VC scams. I will say that. At least it has a real, a real structure of people behind it and a real, what could be a real company and, actually do stuff for the space. So I don't put Sui down specifically because of that. Anybody who works on Meta, anybody who works on Twitter, anybody who works on any of these major platforms, especially social media platforms, I think like being part of a social media platform and building a product like that, they're not anymore. They're not part of Meta anymore. They separated and created a Sui coin. So I want to be clear about that. But if you worked at Facebook, you know how the social engineering goes, right? And so since you know how the social engineering goes, you could actually build a really good campaign for your coin because you know how to manipulate people, which is what Facebook does. You know how to manipulate people, which is what X does. Like all of these platforms, they're there to manipulate.
Will, you're going to get our YouTube channel taken down.
Yeah.
You know how to convince people, right? You know how to convince them to buy the product. So with that being said, I'm more bullish on that than I am anything, right? If you have good talking points, even if you have a shitty project, it doesn't matter. As long as you have good talking points, you can talk people into buying your rocks in the front yard. So I'm all for Sui. I'm all for it. Like, let's run it up. I got plenty of it.
Gotta love it, man.
T, on the other hand, I don't know, man. I don't know the team. I don't know nothing about this shit.
I mean, dude, it looks. I know, but
I bet that's cooking up some RSI divs.
Yeah,
they'll play, but it's cooking them up.
I think.
You know what that kind of looks like?
You gotta get above here, man. That's it.
Yeah, that'd be. You're actually what I would say, Tucker. That looks very much like a consolidation range.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody could convince me of any different there. That's
you're just gonna kind of do that.
Yeah.
You know what it looks like to me? Is Bitcoin's downtrend in 2021 a little bit. I can see some resemblances.
Look at no way, Jose.
2021
or 2022. That is.
Tommy,
like I see right now. I see it carving out that range in the summer of
48K.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So you're about to just whoa.
Well, not to zero, but yeah. Maybe you get one more deviation below the low, and then
negative.
Negative. You owe them money for holding their coin.
Yes.
They're sending you a bill in the mail to every wallet address that holds the coin. Jasmine was a monster, bro. Like, look, I caught Jasmine. I got the screenshots, and I have the Jasmine on my cold storage. I caught Jasmine at 0.002. Find 0.002 there for me, Tucker.
It's not even on the chart, Will.
It's right there. Obviously, I'm not talking about anything beyond the 2.
Yeah,
but literally, it says like 0.002 was my buy.
Yeah,
the Japanese Bitcoin.
The Japanese Bitcoin, boys.
That was
they're gonna run it up.
That was the marketing.
Yeah, that was the marketing, man.
I did not sleep on Jasmine, Peter. Come on.
Look,
I always say when Jasmine pumps, it's my signal to get the hell out of the market. And I did not take my own advice this time.
Well, Jasmine's been pumping all of 2024. So
yeah, but this move would have been nice to get out on. Probably. When was this? July 5th.
Bitcoin top.
I have not been actively trading it, so I wrote that bet down. I have not been trading it. It's on my cold storage, and I hate moving shit on my cold storage unless I think the cycle's over.
Yeah, that would have been a nice exit right there.
The first top two. Yeah. So just sell when Jasmine starts distributing on a lower time frame.
Yeah,
the signal's still actionable, apparently.
Yeah.
I think it's holding at a good range, though. As long as it could stay above that consolidation range on the left, you're good. I think it'll hold. But if it breaks below that, look out below. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna hold it though. I'm gonna hold it. It's one of my holds. I'm gonna just hold on to it. You gotta believe in something, right? I believe in Japan.
I believe in Japan.
Even though they dunked on me when the yen dropped.
They did. Indeed.
Which was it? Let's see. Yeah, Rivian's doing exactly what I thought it was gonna do, bro. This thing is just jeeting all the way back down. All of its gains gone. All of its gains. Well, not all of them. But you guys want to talk stocks or you want to stay on crypto?
We can move over to stocks.
Because I think I have a really good setup here. What do you see on the left? Boom. Boom. Study gaps. Yeah. So I think all the way back down to like $11, $12. This is why I cut my positions. I was like, not round tripping those. And then I think all the way back down to $11, $12, and then move up from there. So I do think ultimately this is the directionality, higher low structure, and this also meets right in line with your trend, right? With your trend, you got a solid trend playing right into that. You're filling the gap. Everything's complete. Everybody's happy. Market makers have wrecked everybody who's in call positions, and then they reopen calls and run it up. So this is the structure I'm looking for. Ideally, if they break below this range, it'll also break the trend, and then you're absolutely effed. You're probably coming all the way back down to the lows if that occurs. So you just want to watch this trend and stay up to date on that. But man, I've been looking across the board, and all I've been seeing is just like these upswing trends. Same thing here with Lucid. I think Lucid has, again, we can clear all this crap that's on here, and we can look at Lucid structure very similar to what I was talking about with Rivian. I think as long as you remain above here. So if Rivian's going to dump to there, I would anticipate Lucid's going to dump to here. So if that's going to happen, again, it's still an upswing structure, still looks really good. You also have the upswinging RSI playing right into that, and you're coming into the RSI too. So you've got a bullish structure kind of playing. You had the bull div play at the low here, telling you that you were going to get the big bounce. That is the big bounce, what you saw here. And then from here, I think you're going to come back into the range and then come back into the range here and bounce up pretty hard. But it does look like Lucid wants to pull off one of these. It's doing something a little different here into the range for now. But I think we're still going to see a really big spike up. I think this is why I have January calls for 520, because I think you can at least spike up to here, if not higher, and tap this high end range right here on some call positions. But you need to cool down first before you do that. So down first before you do that. If you're worried about theta decay, just wait for it to occur first, right? And then you don't have to eat the theta decay. You can just basically eat the positive price action all the way back up. So this is a really good setup here. And IWM, again, this is more like the parabola move I was looking for, but I think IWM is going to cool down more, come back down, probably touch this parabola right here. But we're definitely in the cool down phase on a lot of these things. I don't think we're in the rip up phase. Dollar will probably come back up, swing, retest the low here. You can see it on a daily structure. They're pushing back for the range. once they push back for the range, I think it's going to be a swing fail. So you see everything else is coming down. Dollar is going up. Dollar is not bullish. Dollar is about to roll.
Dollar looks terrible. We were talking about that before.
I think that's your direction. So if dollar is going to do that, I would say that you're going to see assets still cool down a little bit more. And then you're going to see assets pop off of the spring load off of their lows, right? Basically spring load. So this is what I think dollar is going to do. I think it's going to retest liquidity up here. And then once it retests, it's going to roll. And then you're going to see assets pull back into their range. They're going to retest and then they're going to pop. And that's what I'm seeing again, time and time again across the board. Even right here with GME. GME, I think, already hit its low, although I think it'll consolidate here a little bit. I think this is the low it was aiming for. It's the low it got. And I think that this is like a fake out breakdown, right? Whenever you get a pennant move at the high and you break down, this is actually a normal move for it to break down before it breaks out. And that's what we call a fake out before the move. Now, the one thing you don't want to see is you don't want to see it pressure up here and get stuffed, because then it's going to roll deeper and then it'll break out. So this is something else I'm watching out for on this one. NVIDIA. I do think NVIDIA looks strong here, but again, it could just simply be a retest, just like all the others.
I'm not sure what to make of it.
Structure.
Part of me kind of wants to gamble on some puts for like next week on NVIDIA, but I think I'll probably refrain.
I think if you get stuffed at 116, it's probably going to roll. Right. Yeah. I think higher low structure though. Right. I don't know if this actually occurs and it comes back into this range, but you've already filled all your gaps. So like, is there really a necessity to come deeper? Unless the market's over and you're coming back down to like $69, then you're absolutely screwed, right? Then the market.
Well, I think the market kind of, it doesn't need, like crypto doesn't need NVIDIA to pop off. I would argue that distribution out of NVIDIA, like you kind of want that to some degree, but also the periods where we've seen the most risk appetite within just crypto and also equity markets over the last year and a half have come when NVIDIA and AI specifically were really leading the market. I'm not saying they have to lead the market again, but I do think it is reflective of the risk appetite that's present in the market. So I do think to some degree we want to see, like if you're bullish, you want to see NVIDIA start to, I mean, it doesn't have to like downtrend necessarily, but like at least range or trend higher again for that picture on risk assets to continue improving. And we talk about indices as well. You know, you kind of want to see the bell cows of the indices over the last year and a half continue uptrending as well. Otherwise, they're going to have to find a new one. Apple was one that we thought could do it a few weeks ago or a few months ago. I'm not sure what the chart looks like on Apple right now, but obviously it took a hit last week, like everything did during the whole fiasco. We'll just call it that, because I think you could point to a myriad of things that probably caused it for people. But yeah, I think you want to see that bid on AI return, not just for, you know, that reflection on risk assets being bid, but also for indices. Maybe they don't have to continue the uptrend that they've seen, but to stabilize, I think it'd be a positive.
The only problem I see here is that if you look at structure's broken, right? You definitely broke below the range. You didn't want to see that. So I think a potential of a pop and roll is a likely scenario. I think it's a higher likely scenario because of the structure break here. Like this is an area you wanted to see hold. You did not want to see this violated. And because they basically ate all of this move, right? All of this move right here was eaten. And this was your bullish move. This was your bullish upswing. When you swing back negative into your bullish upswing, even if you get a bounce, you should take it as a potential that's going to come back down again. So you be cautious here is what I would say. Be very cautious with NVIDIA. Don't be overly bullish on this right now. You need structure to recapture back above 116, in my opinion, from a structure standpoint. And believe me, I stepped back at Disney and I was looking at Mickey and I was like, okay, what can I do better? I can go back to the chart and pay attention more to what the chart pattern is telling me. And I would say that this was your bullish swing. This turned bearish the second you broke below your bullish swing. You engulfed it, right? You engulfed all that bullish action. Even if price bounced here, it's just a reactionary bounce for now until it's not.
Guys, I have a question. Where is the big Sal? Anyone seen him?
I haven't seen Big Sal in a while, man. I have not.
I miss Big Sal, man. He told us. I don't know what, but he told us.
He might be lurking.
I don't know what.
He told us something. I don't know what, but
We
Big Sal
have
never left us in
people-
spirit.
We have people who are previously known commenters in the stream that I know still lurking here. They just like to be quiet now.
yeah.
It's an
Yes.
interesting evolution.
But it's often because they got hurt or like their analysis went brutally wrong in some ways.
Oh, somebody just said dime pushing. Are you
That
serious?
does not make me feel very comfortable.
Oh yeah, it's pushing all right. It's
Nah,
pushing.
man.
That doesn't look terrible. What I bet if you drew the blur chart on dime, they might be pretty similar.
Let me ask you guys this: are there better looking charts?
Yes.
For
Then
sure.
why are we even entertaining this?
Every other chart is better.
I feel like we
looking.
just kind of have to, right? Like just check back in every once.
Let's just check in on it. Yeah.
Just to laugh.
That was more for the audience. Why are we even entertaining this? You have better looking charts.
It kind of does remind me of the blur chart though, a little bit. And if it gives a similar move that blur gave, then eventually it's gonna like 3 or 4x and then go back to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, do the blur chart on Coinbase.
Let's see.
Yeah.
We should do this.
I think not enough people think about this from like I guess a logical standpoint. And here's the logical standpoint. If there are better looking charts, don't even look at this shit. Like go to something else.
Oh yeah.
That's unreal.
Go to soybeans, perhaps.
Hold on. We will.
Yeah, I'm drinking Celsius.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
I'm drinking a Celsius. Wait, Will, what flavor you got?
I like the orange, man.
The orange is a good flavor. I got watermelon today.
Study orange. It won't show up.
They should pay us for these ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really
It's
should.
either Celsius or coffee. I like to switch it up because I like to have no sugar sometimes. So
Yeah, good enough.
That's real.
Man. Close
I've been on a
enough.
coffee grind lately.
So you give a little pump.
I don't know, bro.
Five,
I don't know.
0.
It kind of looks like it's going to go down further and then do it,
It looks
Yeah.
so bad.
which kind of
I-
checks out with what we were thinking with TIA if it's going to make one more marginal low. Would I buy TIA at like $3? Maybe.
Look, when even though not everybody likes it, I would pick SUI over TIA hands down any day of the week. And
I like
again,
Say
it's just a team.
as a modularity pick if those are going to trend.
Hey, Say started growing me since you guys started talking about it, and nobody else is talking about it now. Once nobody else starts to talk about it, I'm like, oh, this looks pretty enticing. Might actually.
I
start
only
looking
like
at
it because the FDV is only, I think it's only like 2 or 3 billion. So relative to other VC coins, it's way lower. And I think people are going to have to respect that FDV more and more, at least until conditions get way frothier, that people are going to be way more cognizant of the fact that high FDV is not a meme. It's not a meme, and you can see it reflected in these tokens that just kind of go down only after launch and after years of trading. Oh man, Curve looks good. No way.
No, it does not.
Curve and Dime are pumping. Oh my
Send
god.
it. Send everything. Send everything. I mean, I wouldn't say it's pumping, but
Yeah, I was gonna say what the.
I don't know. I don't know if pumping is the right term, but
Oh, shit.
Might try to overlay the AVAX bottom on that.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. ETH, bro. ETH's not looking good.
No.
And I haven't been saying that, but he's not looking good.
Jackus will
Bro,
fight you
what are you
on
on a day like
but I won't.
today, bro? What are you talking about?
Nah, man. Put it on the weekly.
Okay.
I think needs
It's
to see a guy
horrible. I would sell everything. I would sell everything.
All your ETH for sure.
Look,
Wing.
put
No, I know you're joking,
a top
Jackus.
on there. Put a top on there.
Hold on, Will. Study this. Okay, first of all. But
Yeah,
okay,
I like that. I like that. So what I mean by that is I don't think it'll break that low range, but I think it's gonna trim back down. I honestly think it's gonna trim just to fill the wick.
Oh, half wick.
Yeah. I think it's gonna trim back down.
Give me like a half wick. That's fine. Half the wick.
It'll be the half or the whole, but it looks like it wants to trim back down. It just looks very. You can see it's double topping right there in that range. Like you got to break that range. You have to.
Yeah.
You don't want to form a shoulder here.
Yeah, you don't.
I said this last week.
Here. This is not the spot you want to get stuffed, and it looks like it's getting stuffed.
You gotta bust through 27.50.
I'm bullish ETH, and I said this the other week. I was like, I think ETH, it's ETH's era now, right? ETH's going to take a front seat relatively soon, but this area right here is getting a little tricky for a possible roll back down and recapture the range of the wick. Yeah, basically same area. You can drag that all the way across.
Yeah.
Are we gonna look at ETH Bitcoin?
And
I haven't looked at it this week. I'll be honest. I'm not trying to say that to FUD or anything. I don't know what it looks like.
I think ETH Bitcoin's bottomed. Regardless of how that results or how it happens, I think ETH Bitcoin's bottomed.
I am not ready to say that ETH Bitcoin's bottom.
Scroll all the way out.
I've also been very skeptical about calling the ETH Bitcoin bottom the entire time.
The line right there.
Yeah,
I tried once. We got a big move, but it wasn't the bottom.
That right there is a strong position, Tommy. That is a strong position, bro.
I still think this chart reminds me of it reminds me of Bitcoin back in Q1 and Q2 of 2023, where you had literally just that structure where Bitcoin ran up off the low. It consolidated between 21 and 24K. It gave a second thrust that ended up sweeping on Bitcoin USD. On ETH Bitcoin, it wouldn't have. But after that, you just kind of basically you just had SVB set the bottom and then it ripped. And I think that's kind of the structure that this is printing. Like we all kind of know at one point, either ETH Bitcoin's going to nuke this uptrend completely and ETH will never outperform Bitcoin again, or ETH is going to undo the entire downtrend in like 1 or 2 monthly candles, because that's just the way these kind of like slow grinds lower eventually end. It's either a super bearish sign that there are not enough buyers versus sellers, or it's going to be a huge short covering rally at some point, probably spurred on by some catalyst, and before you know it, ETH Bitcoin is going to be at new highs.
So you think a deviation below the support range?
I really don't know. I don't know if I want to try to call it.
I gotta put you on the hot seat. I
don't know if I want to try to call a bottom on ETH Bitcoin, just because many men have tried. I tried once, and they got the huge ETF announcement shortly after. I thought it was bottomed, and then we kept selling off. So
this range, Tommy, this range.
This is the level we should be bouncing from, or like right around it. Because if we don't, I don't know where we're going to bounce from. If
that support, bro, like, oh man, it's so hard to say that this is not going to hold. I would arguably say it's the last line in the sand, right? Like, if you break this range, where are you really going, right? Where are you really going? Are you going to continue to just keep bleeding against Bitcoin and then eventually bottom where you were last time? Because if you did that, that'd be very bearish, because you know where your top is. You're not going to form a higher high. You're going to form probably a lower high on ETH BTC.
What if ETH BTC is like, Tucker, can you scroll further left?
Yeah. Study half one of the post-halving year for ETH BTC. This is your alt season, everyone. You will wait until the Q1 of January 25. You will wait. I promise you. I've been saying it for years, boys.
What if we're just doing the 2016 to 2017 bleed on ETH Bitcoin right now?
Yeah, so you're like in here. That's what
Yeah.
You're like bleeding.
We're somewhere in there.
You're about to literally, I'm telling you.
There's some, I mean, you could argue Sui kind of looks like that ETH Bitcoin pattern from 2016 to 2017. Now that I'm just like thinking out loud on a higher time frame, I see some similarities, but you still won't get me to buy Sui.
No, definitely not. Yeah. Half one of 2025, market down. Been saying it for years, boys. Years. This is the first 6 months of the year, marked out in green. Study.
The ETH Bros will win.
Study it.
I FUD ETH all the time, but ETH Bros will win. Maybe not as much as Solana Bros or Bitcoin Bros, but
Solana's already outpaced ETH. Like, you guys ain't got a chance of catching up to Solana at this point. Like, if you're talking low to high,
about to come down. Will, we were talking about this too. Sol ETH looks terrible.
But low to high,
have we talked about that yet on the show?
No, we haven't.
No, but Tommy. What I'm talking about is low to high structure.
Tucker,
you think ETH is going to do the same numbers as Solana from $8?
You gotta, Tucker, just type in Sol USD / ETH USD to get the full chart.
You don't want the market caps?
No, because
I have the perfect comparison for this Sol ETH chart. We were talking about it on this morning's call a little bit, but I think it's about to come down a lot.
Well, Nicholas, the reason I stated that is because of what? Because of market cap. Ethereum is, I mean, arguably what, $300 billion market cap, roughly. Do people think that you're going to see $1 trillion in inflows in the bull market? Maybe, right? I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. I think there's a possibility, but how much is $1 trillion on 300 billion? A 3.5x, 3.25x? Solana's already outpaced that by shit tons from the low. So like Ethereum has no chance of catching up to Solana. I don't think Ethereum's going to see 2 or 3 trillion this cycle. I definitely
don't. I don't either.
Wait, what's your timing for the cycle though, Will? Like 2026?
Yeah, into 2025, somewhere 2026, somewhere's in there.
I think we can get to like 1.5 to 2 trillion this cycle on ETH.
On ETH?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So from an X standpoint, Solana's already beaten ETH. But I do think the rotation is happening to Ethereum right now, and that we'll start to see moves from Solana to Ethereum. But I think Solana will still do well this cycle. Solana's probably already had its F around and find out era, and now everybody's still chasing.
People gotta get wrecked on. I mean, people are already wrecked on chain for Sol. I feel like you haven't quite seen that get reflected in the Sol USD just yet. And maybe it doesn't have to manifest into a more tangible downtrend, but I think like weakness from increased supply. Oh, hold on. I think maintenance is here, guys.
So when an asset
is definitely there,
it's the police. When an asset is doing well, we have to understand where it came from and where it is. And we have to understand when opportunity is there and when it's not. And we have to understand how much more opportunity is there and how much more opportunity is not. And I think that people need to step back and think about that from a logical standpoint, because I hear a lot of people continuing to cheer the same coin and cheer the same coin and cheer the same coin. And it's like, dude, you're already up thousands of X's. How much more do you think that's going to go up? Like you're hoping for a 3 or 4x from here if you keep screaming the name of one of your favorite coins. But the reality is, if you just rotated to a different coin with that capital, you would get that 3 or 4x, guaranteed, because it has the potential for that. It just, people don't want to sell the asset they're in to get that X they're looking for, the thousands of X's they've already made. They would rather just stick with the same thing and keep screaming its name. None of you work at these places. None of you work for any of these coins. You don't owe them anything. Rotate if you see the opportunity to do so. And if you think the opportunity is better somewhere else, do it. If you're looking for safety, go with safety. That's basically all I can tell you guys. Like, I just continue to see people just continue to scream the same names over and over, especially in the comment section, over and over and over again. You're just looking for a 2 or 3x. There's plenty of opportunity to get that in the market. You just got to open your eyes and stop screaming the same name over and over while it's sitting here consolidate shopping and doing nothing.
This is kind of interesting. Maybe we take a little one of these. Boom, 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 boom. Hold up, boom. All right,
bro. Just a clean higher time frame range, higher time frame reaccumulation.
bro. Study the golden pocket getting hit on others from the Schmiko tops. Bottom's in on others, boys. Bottom is in on others.
Tommy's not coming back, boys.
Market down. Yeah, I know.
Vitalik
The
said his house.
maintenance got him. The maintenance got him.
The maintenance guy is Vitalik.
Oh man.
What does our like button look like, Tucker?
It looks like we need to go to the soybean chart.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Or maybe just G the stream instantly. I think, Tucker, you should stop drawing.
No, I should stop drawing. It's hard though. I can't stop. Yeah, Tommy said 5 minutes. Hold up.
You'll get to see this horse until the like button is where it should be at.
All streams off. Jack is this horse.
This horse puking is the impression of the like button count.
You guys
It's
know
Monday, guys.
Soybeans are like down only, right?
Forever.
Like since April of 22, they've been down only. They bought at COVID.
Who's eating soybeans? That's the question.
Not me, brother. Not me.
Nah. I don't even think poverty calls for soybeans anymore. So they have no use case. So at some point, the like button will reach its threshold. What are we looking like now?
Yeah, hold up. Let me look at it.
We're at 235. Let's pump it to 250, and then we can continue.
Where's the head guy, Max? He's like, they're abusing us, Max.
Max is working on the terminal with our dev.
He's like, they're abusing us, but if Max was here, the soybeans would be on way before. Like the soybeans would be on 20 minutes in the show.
Yeah. We let you guys go for a while without any soybeans, so.
We've actually been cooking pretty well this morning, I think. Discussing charts and patterns and stuff like that.
All right. Oh my God, we're only at 238. What are you guys doing?
Literally 12 likes.
No, Goku, trust me. You want Max to be doing what he's doing right now. Trust me.
Refresh the stream.
Huh?
Refresh it. Check it.
Did you like it or something, Will?
No.
You haven't liked it? 240.
I'm not helping them. They can help themselves, or they can kind of figure it out on their own. How do you help yourself? You hit the like button.
No, guys, you guys don't understand. You want Max to be working on the terminal with our dev Ed right now. You absolutely want that because
True that.
it is almost done, and I've seen it, and it's gas. It's nice, guys. It's really nice. So, but Max is a perfectionist, so he's being a freak about it, you know. So he's making it perfect. But all right, let's see here. Could also be lower count because the sentiment isn't as bullish. That's true. That's true. All right, hold up. What are we at? 245. 5 more. 5 more.
likes.
Ooh,
5 more, and then Jackus,
oh.
I need you to cook.
Yeah, Jackus will cook. We'll force him to cook.
Jackus.
5 more likes, and then we are closing the stream.
No, don't tell him that.
Rugged. Rugged like.
Oh my god.
Next time you'll know to hit the like button. Said that.
247. 247.
Close. Just hit it. Come on, guys. This is like wasting so much time. I'm tired of looking at this horse.
Oh, Jackus. He said Jackus couldn't cook a pot of water. Wow. How dare you?
The lion doesn't bother himself with the opinion of a sheep.
Yeah. And 255. Wow, that thing really jumped. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. For the love of God, please get this off.
Back to
Thank
the
you.
soybeans. Sorry. Jackus, you want to pull up your chart though?
No soybeans.
I don't.
Oh my
He
God.
doesn't.
Jackus, we promised them.
I
Just
did
give
not
them a little
promise
bit.
anything.
What does the chat want to
Right.
look at for the last like 5 minutes?
All right, let's give them some alpha, all right?
Yeah.
One sec.
Jackus is preparing the dinner.
Yes, sir.
You can just watch the NVIDIA chart on low time frames until Jackus is ready. Super
Nearly
fun.
there. All right. All right. Here we go. Don't pick up the sneakers, guys. Don't do it.
He said, "Here,
Oh my God.
make him drink the milk, Will."
What just happened?
Oh man,
I remember the good old days.
yeah.
It was time then. It was time. It was time to teach
Right.
people lessons. I do want to. Let me see here. Let me see.
Oh my god, Jackus, no,
Bro.
Take that off. Take it off.
Hagrid, go to your chart real quick, Hagrid. Now go to Doge. Go to Doge.
All right.
I want to show you something.
Oh my god, we're gonna get banned on YouTube.
Hold on, how come yours didn't do it, bro? What the?
The dog?
Mine had a dog that popped out.
Yeah,
I feel like
sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know.
I feel like there's so many like exchange bag holders of Doge that they're hoping to God they can pump this thing so they can get out of it.
Shim Squad, this channel is not monetized, bro. This channel is not monetized.
So far.
We don't make money.
No. You think we make money from YouTube? Absolutely not.
What do you guys charge for anything? Well, we're not making money and doing this. We're doing it for free. But yeah, so can you throw me that chart real quick? Just for a second. What do you see? What do you see? Study the low is in. Study fundamentals. People are laughing at me now. People laugh at me now.
Wait, what is this? I can't.
This is dot, bro. It's dot.
Oh no, bro! I can't get on the dot train. Will, there's no way.
I'm telling you, bro.
I can't do it.
All right, I probably have like 2 or 3 minutes.
All right, you ready to talk about that?
You ready to talk about Polkadot?
He might be back up in like 2 or 3 minutes, so I might have to go again. But we're just getting ready to move, so there's a ton of maintenance requests. I am not getting rated by the feds. I did see some of you comment that I'm not being swatted.
Study, Tucker. Hold on, let's drop it on here, Tucker. Study.
No, Will, it's over for
Are we
Dot.
studying Dot?
No, we're
Study. Study. All right.
What's our good old friend VeChain look like?
VeChain. Wow.
I know, real ones remember.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
no, Max is trolling, bro. Max is trolling us in the Discord right now.
That is a higher low structure. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, like that is a higher low structure. If they can hold here, so this looked really good rounding out, and then they had to break out, and then they're pulling back into the range. I don't know, man. Look, I would say like study all this crap because like this is where all this occurred. And I think we're getting ready to go in that parabolic phase. I don't know what the catalyst is. I don't know if these products actually work or if they have a use case or any of that shit. I mean, I do know, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. Nobody gives a shit. But the point being is, from a structure standpoint, it looks pretty good. So I'm just like, I'm looking at the structure. I don't care if it's a dyno coin. And I'm like, all right, where can we go from here? Even if we double top, that's a really good RR. Right, because I don't think you're going back to zero yet, but that's about 1,400%.
Yeah,
I know there's dilution in a lot of these, right? But just saying.
Study wet BTC.
Wrapped BTC.
No, VeChain BTC. Study VeChain BTC.
We don't.
This is what you want to look for on altcoin, Bitcoin.
No, we don't. We don't have to pull that up. Look, Velas, double bottom.
What the hell is this? Will, I will say my fiance had a makeup product or whatever from you'll never guess where.
Oh, I know which one. I forget the name of it though.
What is it called?
Elf?
Yeah.
Elf, yes. Bro, every girl loves
no,
Elf,
it looks like it's over, Will. It might be
hold
over
on.
for
We're gonna
Elf.
pull it up. We're gonna pull it up. Let's look
I know. It might be over.
No, bro, it's never over. It's never over for Elf. Elf is coming into its range.
It looks
That
pretty
does
cooked.
look pretty cooked, man.
It's coming into its range. Look, I was trolling Max all of 2023 with this one.
I know.
From the low, and he's like, it's gonna fall over. It's gonna fall over.
This and Nakamoto games, man. Those were the tickers we heard about every day.
Yeah.
Every single day, I'm like, it only goes up. And all it did was go up forever.
It kind of looks like Nvidia when it topped, though. I will say that.
But
not that I think there's any liquidity to be able to short it, but like,
tell me I wasn't on point with this one though. This one was right on point, man. Every day, Max is like, what the hell is Elf? Nobody wants it. And now every girl, and you know what's funny? I have sisters, I have family and stuff like that, and they buy Elf too. I didn't even know they bought Elf. Like, I just saw it like in their house when I came in, just like looked at the counter and there's Elf products, and I was like, wow, I think every girl's buying Elf. That's weird that I actually found this.
How can you not be bullish on the makeup industry, man? If you know any females in your life, how can you be bearish on the makeup industry? Even
in times of desperation, the makeup industry prevails. It never comes down. It's like insurance companies. It's just up only. Let's look at Nakamoto though. I do want to see that.
Oh God.
I do think Nakamoto came down though. I do think it came down. Hold on. Get a hot list. These are like the old ones, right? These are the old school ones. Yeah, it came down. Came down big time. But dude, this was another one too that I would bring up every single day. And I was like, we're going all the way to here. And you can see I drew that from here. And we came up pretty freaking close to that target. We didn't get a full swing, but I do think like this is like a leg 1, 2, 3 scenario. So I think the structure here is something like this, probably back into like some crazy range like this, and then you get your breakout like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think something like that's what that's looking for.
Tell me.
I think he got abducted again by Vitalik.
Yeah.
By maintenance. Maintenance got him.
Maintenance Vitalik.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This was Naka.
Look at this though, Will. Look at the lower time frame today. Look at this. This was New York Open right here. This is what they've done since then. Unreal.
Right. It looks like it's gonna roll back.
Unbelievable, dude. What a 5% range.
Yeah.
And
it wants to retest that 58, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fine, bro.
No, listen. Study East lower time frame. They might like make a M15 pullback into the New York session low, but this is sending higher. Like we are filling that CME gap. Study Ordi, what Ordi has done just now, right? I mean, today is going to be fun. Tomorrow is going to be fun. Right. So this is what's happening to ETH and the rest of the market.
I am very bullish Bitcoin layer L2s. So I'm looking at those two and trying to evaluate what I like with those. But I think like let's look at stacks real quick. Let's see how that looks. They're probably relatively correct.
Oh, it almost went to $1, bro. That's crazy. Wait, hold up. Did it go to $1?
Almost. But look at that range where it hit. That was like the range you wanted to retest. It was very similar to like the ETH play. You hit that high structure right there. Yeah, you hit that high structure and you bounced right out of it. Yeah,
dude, that is so brutal.
But the fact that you bounced right there, that's where I'd mark that. Good.
Put on the monthly.
Yeesh. Didn't you sell your stacks like near the top, Jackus?
Wait, what?
Didn't you sell stacks near the top or something like that?
Yeah. I was buying 60 cents. Then I sold it up. Then I was rebuying again, but also I hedged the entire portfolio higher up. I was basically just collecting the fees. And to be honest, I'm out of STX. A huge profit on the overall. And I'm long Ordi right now.
Took the swing. Batter swing.
This just looks so bad. Like, I mean, obviously it's probably bottomed, but
look at 2021, bro. It looks very similar to the bear market of 2021.
Yeah, it does.
It looks bad. But here's the thing too. It looks like the first drop, Tucker. It looks like the first drop. So if you were to take that as the first drop, it looks like you're gonna come back up, swing, grab liquidity, and screw everybody.
Yeah. Oh wait.
Guys, if you wanna cook, go forward, but I'll be cheating the stream right here myself.
Yeah, no, I gotta do the same. Tommy
is getting carried by the maintenance, man.
Yeah, it looks like you're taking us out here, Tucker.
Okay. I'm just look at that.
Let them know about the terminal. Let them know
I
about the
think
discounts.
So.
Looks nice. All right, I'm gonna text him, see if because I will let them all know, but I don't want any stolen valor from Tommy. That's all right. We'll just do it. That's it for today, boys. Oh, there he is.
All right, I made it.
Yo,
Yeah.
time.
At the buzzer. at the
Just in
buzzer.
time.
All right. I got to do the outro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's do it. Oh, all right. We cooked extra long for you guys. So if you could smash the like button for us as we officially wrap up, we would be very, very appreciative. I haven't looked at the like button, so I'm going to assume that maybe we soybean them enough that it's good. But either way, thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. A few quick housekeeping notes before we can officially wrap up. A reminder that we have launched our brand new hedge fund, BB Wealth Management. That is a fund run by the BB team that focuses on primarily digital assets and does so in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history of upside returns, as well as managing the investment risks posed in any market. Obviously, this last drop was a great example of a great time to manage risk, and we did an exceptional job as a fund, I have to say. So if you are interested in the team potentially managing your money, we are SEC certified, and we do have more information linked in the description of the video below. Also, our BB Academy, guys, we have, I want to say it's been out for about probably 3 or 4 months now, but we've gotten some really great reviews on it back from you guys already. Best course, in my opinion, that you will be able to find in all of crypto. You get to learn from the entire team, how we approach the markets, how we trade, how we analyze. I think that is honestly invaluable when you're talking about whether or not you're trying to form an educational base or whether or not you're trying to take your trading to the next level, reach mastery. Being able to learn from a bunch of Chads who are already killing it in these markets in a variety of different ways, I have to add, is invaluable, like I said. So we do have more information linked in the description of this video below. And don't forget, guys, we talked about it a little bit on Friday. Our brand new product, the BB Terminal, will be coming out very, very soon. We are so excited here at BB to finally be launching that for you guys. There has been so much work that's gone in on the back end from pretty much the entire team. So yeah, we can't wait to bring that product to market. We can't wait to bring that product to you guys so that you can use it for your trading. Hopefully a one-stop shop for every for lower time frame trading, for higher time frame trading, and everything in between. But keep on the lookout for that because it is coming out very, very soon. And we previewed it on Friday's show, so check out that recording if you missed it. Of course, as well, Market Check. If you enjoyed the show, we'll be back for another episode tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live. If it is your first time tuning in, Monday through Friday at that typical start time, whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open, we are going to be live in the morning around that time. Of course, we also have Market Talk hosted by King Wabi. Wabi does a great job on those shows, and the conversation is very much like a fireside chat. So whoever the guests are, it will take on very much of that sort of flavor. But yeah, make sure to tune in for that as well. It's the perfect way to spend your afternoon. If you enjoyed this morning's show, maybe you're looking for a bit more of a fix here in a few hours. But that is it from us, guys. We hope that you all have had a great start to your Monday. Have a fantastic week. If I don't see you again, which I hope I see you again, it's only Monday. But as always, thanks again, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow.